What up, sports fans? Waxon Wednesday. Jake Waxman, Tyler Lavalette, two guys talk sports. Let's go. Oh boy, we're only just a few weeks away from college football, and right now it's not a fun time to be a Northwestern fan. So, for those of you who do not know, Northwestern University officially fired their football head coach, Pat Fitzgerald, who had run the program for over 10 years. He is no longer the head coach at Northwestern following allegations or actually maybe even evidence of some hazing within the program of Northwestern football. First of all, I will say this. Part of this just doesn't make any sense because Northwestern's had a couple of tough years in a row. So, and I've heard of hazing before, military and sports, to be honest. And in terms of hazing, there could be some really disgusting things that happen behind the scene. And from what I'm hearing at Northwestern, there were some really disgusting forms of hazing going on behind the scenes. I'd rather not talk about it or the forms of it. I just rather would talk about, like, if it makes sense or not. I mean, when I think hazing in terms of sports, you would think that that's something that would happen with winning programs. Or at least they go unreported because the focus is on winning. But in this case, the hazing is with a program that has been struggling the last two seasons. So, not really sure what to think. Not sure what to make of the entire situation. It's bizarre and odd to say the least. But from what I understand, it looks like all evidence points to hazing going on behind the scenes. And if Pat Fitzgerald allowed it to happen, which is what Northwestern believes he did, which Northwestern believes he allowed to happen, then hey, you got to do your job and you got to make sure none of this goes unnoticed. And if that's the case, well, then he deserved to get the pink card, unfortunately. That's part of sports. But one thing we do know for certain, this puts Northwestern in a really, really difficult spot. Because now they got to find a football coach. And the football season right now is only a couple of weeks away. And they don't have a lot of time to find a football coach. So, got to get on it, Northwestern. Now question for Northwestern is, do they go with an interim head coach? Or do they find someone to hire for the next few years? I guess time will tell. It looks like they're going to go look for someone. But it'll be interesting to see who they hire. And nevertheless, I don't know about the whole hazing stuff. I just know there's been some evidence of hazing that's been going on behind the scenes at Northwestern. And man, oh man, a change in coaching could be a good thing though for this Northwestern football program, which had been slipping the last 2 years. But still, not the way you want to see a respected figure like Pat Fitzgerald go. Because good football coach and probably a good man, but perhaps he made a massive mistake in letting the hazing go unnoticed or without action. So that is all. That's what I can say for now about this, and just some of my thoughts about what's going on with Northwestern football. But man, oh man, that's crazy. A Northwestern of all places. So I didn't think it would happen there. It just wow. All right, sports fans. All right, I just received some sad news today, and this involves one of our favorite basketball icons, a guy by the name of Dick Vitale. For those who don't know, he's covered basketball for a very long time, been on ESPN, got that iconic voice, knows what he's talking about when it comes to college basketball. But unfortunately, I've received word that he is in another battle with cancer. From what I understand, he has vocal cancer. And in a statement, he said that though I was disappointed with the pathology report, I plan on winning this battle like I did with melanoma and lymphoma. So this is sadly his third time battling cancer. Just terrible. I mean, Dick Vitale, great human being, great ambassador to the sport of basketball. It's tough to see him going through this, but he's a tough guy. And I know that he's playing, like you said, he plans on winning this battle. The sad news is, though, he is at an advanced age, and he's at that point where his immune system is going to have trouble fighting off these things. Still, though, I hate it for him. He's been away from the game for quite some time, and it, I just all I can say is Mr. Vitale, I wish you all the best, and hopefully you can bounce back, recover, and hopefully he'll be covering some games, some college basketball games this season. It would just be terrible to see him sidelined for the whole season because of another battle with cancer. So I wish Mr. Vitale nothing but the best, and hopefully he gets the treatment he needs and is able to keep going and come back stronger. Because there's no because you know what? Okay, so I've given Mr. Vitale some grief over the way he covers college basketball games, but honestly, truth be told, there's no college basketball without Dick Vitale. That's where I'm going to leave this subject. All right, so now, with leaving that subject behind, I'm going to talk about IndyCar. All right, going to focus on IndyCar silly season. Okay, so I guess you could say this will be a reminder or me re-talking about silly season for IndyCar because I have talked about it before, but hey, why not? We're in the dog days of summer, and you know what? It's never too early to start talking about it. The big piece right now for IndyCar in terms of the silly season is Marcus Ericsson. Where that domino falls, then everything else will follow. So, word on the block is he may not be entirely happy at Chip Ganassi and may be looking to make a move. Where might he go? Andretti, from what I've heard, is a possibility. Maybe in that 28 car, he might replace Romain Grosjean in the 28. Because DHL, which is a European sponsor, they might look at Ericsson as a more favorable option compared to Grosjean, especially the success that Ericsson has had in IndyCar. And he's from Europe. He's from Sweden, so DHL they like their European drivers. That's the big reason why they sponsor Romain Grosjean. And speaking of Grosjean, this could be it. He needs to produce some results in the last half of the season because he started out the season really strong, but he's had a rough go this season. And he needs to have a good second half if he's going to have any chance at landing another IndyCar ride. Because not only is he looking at losing his ride with Andretti or Andretti having enough, who knows if someone else will give him a shot or not. Or maybe he goes elsewhere. We don't know for sure on that. But one thing is imperative. He's got to have a strong second half of the season with Andretti. That is for sure. Other guys, Christian Lundgaard, I've heard some talks about. We'll see what happens there. And, there's always now we just remember Ed Carpenter Racing just announced that Connor Daly will not be back in the 20. In fact, he's done. He will not be in the race at Toronto either. But it'll be interesting to see who they put in the 20 car. So who knows? Maybe Lundgaard moves to Ed Carpenter Racing, or just for that matter, it's a lot of talk. I don't know if Lundgaard's contract is officially up, but if it is, hey, we'll see where he goes. But I think he deserves to have a shot with a good team because Lundgaard is a talented driver. And so this is just some of the news I've heard from like IndyCar in terms of silly season. Those are the big pictures. There could be other drivers too that might be looking to be on the move. And Delvin DeFrancisco of Andretti Autosport. Will this be his last season in the 29? Time will tell. So just some of my thoughts there, sports fans. And now, on to my question of the week from Tyler Lavalette. While the 2024 MLB All-Star Game will be in Arlington, Texas, and the 2026 All-Star Game in Philadelphia to coincide with the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence in that city, that leaves the 2025 edition open as of time. Oh, with reports that Wrigley Field is in the running to host it, along with Atlanta and Baltimore as potential host sites. Whew. How would you feel about it going to the second oldest stadium in the league for the first time since 1990, thanks largely to the renovation work the stadium went through a decade ago? Tyler, short and sweet answer, I would love it. I think Wrigley, between those stadiums that you named, I think Wrigley is probably the favorite. I could see them though rescheduling with Atlanta. I think they'll have a good battle with Atlanta, but I think Atlanta's a co-favorite, but I think Wrigley looks right now as the big favorite, 2025 and that stuff. I would love to see the All-Star Game be in Wrigley and with the newly renovated Wrigley Field. I think it would be a nice return to a very historical site in baseball. So yeah, I'd love it. Absolutely. Will it happen? We will see. I think it's going to be a good battle though between Wrigley and Atlanta and the Atlanta Braves, because Atlanta's looking to get their All-Star game back after having that taken away and moved to Denver due to stupid politics. And I do think Atlanta deserves another shot at an All-Star game. And I'd love to see that happen. But of course, they are going to have themselves a battle with Wrigley Field. And same with Wrigley with Atlanta. I think it's going to be a great battle between those two. And well, I won't count out Baltimore too, but I think it's going to be either Wrigley or Atlanta. But if I had to say one of those two, I'd say Wrigley's the favorite. And if it happens, you know what? Hey, I'm all for it. I'd love to see the All-Star game return to Wrigley Field in the year 2025. It would actually, that historical vibes to it. I like the historical vibes, and I'd love to see that in 2025. And it's fitting, though. I will say it's fitting that we're having the 2026 All-Star game in Philadelphia, because there would be the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, as you said. So, Tyler, again, short and sweet. I want it to be in Chicago, but I hope it's, in terms of the bidding process, I hope it's a good battle between Atlanta and Chicago. And if it goes to Atlanta, I'll be super happy for Atlanta too. But I hope Chicago gets it for the sake of history. All right, and that's where I'll leave this question of the week. On to this day in sports history, and on this day, how about this? The 12th of July, 1901, the legend of baseball known as Cy Young wins his 300th game. And for those of you who don't know, there's a reward in baseball called the Cy Young Award. All right, sports fans, that is all I got for this week. Thanks for watching Waxon Wednesday on the 12th of July, 2023. Jake Waxman from Two Guys Talk Sports, signing off.